All right, so let's do a little Ludology today. Ludology is the study of games. I've heard really good things about this game called Cartographers. I've never played it before, so this is on a website called Happy Meeple. I'll link the website down here. It's gotten really good reviews. Click on Start Tutorial, okay, and then let's just go through this, and then let's in the class by sort of analyzing it, seeing how the game stacks up under the different principles of game design, how much player interaction there are, how much downtime there is, that kind of stuff. Is it intelligence based, reflex based, all those kinds of things. Okay. All right. So here we go. At the end of the tutorial, you'll finish the game. Great. All right. Queen Gimnax has requested her cartographers to map new territories. You're one of these cartographers, and your goal is to do better than the others. At the end of the game, the player with the most reputation stars will win. At the end of the game, your map will look something like this. So this is a genre called roll and write. Okay. So this is a fairly new genre of games. I would say, I don't know. I mean, I kind of want to say Welcome to might have been sort of the genre defining game for it. And that wasn't that long ago. What year was this? 2018. Yes, it's like 5 years old, really. And there's got to be roll and writes older than this, but that's kind of the game that sort of defined the genre, at least for me. So yeah, my camera is still not attached. Cool. Okay, so let's go back over here. And so yes, what happens? You're going to have a sheet of paper, and you're going to write on it, and you're going to make a map. Okay. So there are 4 official edicts. The queen has announced what is the most valuable to her: A, B, C, and D. Don't worry about too much about them for the moment. Just know they can be found at the bottom of the page with a detailed description of each. So spring, there are 13 explore cards in the deck. These cards tell you what shape and what kind of terrain you must draw on the map each turn. There are also 4 ambush cards. 1 ambush card will be shuffled into the explore cards at the beginning of each season. Let's do that now. So they're all shuffled in. All right. Explorer deck's now ready. Let's draw the first card. So we got Orchard. Okay. So we've got trees and what is that, like dirt or something, and like a Tetris shape here. All right. Forest and farm. Okay. In one shape. You have to pick one of the terrain types and draw the shape with it. All right. So here's your map. For the moment, it's almost empty. There are 2 types of things: mountains and ruins. Okay. We're going to select the forest shape and place it on the top right corner of the map. The reason is Edict A rewards forest squares adjacent to the edge of the map. So let's drag and drop the forest shape to the top right corner. Okay. Neat. Well, then you've completed your first move. A ruins card. It forces you to draw on one of the remaining ruin squares if you can. It does not tell you what shape to draw. To find out, we need to draw another card. So we got a river card with 2 shapes. Okay. Only 1 type of terrain. If you choose to draw the first shape, you earn a coin immediately. Coins are one way to earn reputation stars. So the ruin squares are blinking to remind you that you must play on one of them. So I guess it's telling me to play it there. So I'm going to fill in the river there, and I get a free coin. Yay. You can see below that you earned a coin for the shape. Another way to earn coins is by surrounding a mountain. If you fill in all 4 sides of a mountain, you get a coin. Total number of coins is now 1. At the end of each season, you will score 1 reputation star per coin. Okay. Goblin attack. Aha, this looks like one of those ambush cards. Okay. Monsters are drawn like the other trains, but they are played on an opponent's map. Okay. So, time to get nasty. At the end of each season, the players will lose 1 reputation star for each empty space next to a monster space. So it wants to put monsters out where there's nothing around them to give lots of negative victory points to people. Shapes can be rotated and flipped as needed. Now let's drag and drop the monsters to the location on the right. You'll need to rotate the shape. Like that. You're almost ready to finish the game on your own. We just need to tell you how seasons end. The figure at the top represents time that passes. The total for the season is shown in the top right corner. The season ends when the threshold is reached, 8 for spring. When the season ends, the last card is played as usual. Then the players get reputation stars for coins, monsters, and the edicts. The game ends after the 4th season. Well done, you've reached the end of the tutorial. Have fun with Cartographers. Alright, let's put something like this out now. Give me a free coin, maybe? Or I can rotate it. Move it like that. That's going to cover up a couple of the monster squares at least. Help me maybe get a coin. Okay. Fishing village, so I can put down either 4 in a row of reds or 4 in a row of blues. What are the edicts? Let's see here. Edicts, okay. So in the first season, edicts A and B trigger. In the second season, edicts B and C trigger. In the third season, edicts C and D trigger. In the last season, edicts D and A trigger. So edict A means earn a reputation star for each forest space adjacent to the edge of the map. So I want to put lots of forests on the edge in spring. Now in summer, it's going to be scoring on these two, but this one is going to score again in the winter. So I could maybe put some forests here and score them once now, and then once at the end of winter again. Shoreside Expanse for B earn 3 reputation stars for each cluster of farm spaces not adjacent to water or the edge of the map. So they have to be away from the edge and away from water. So earn 3 reputation stars for each cluster of water spaces not adjacent to farm spaces or the edge of the map. Okay. And then Borderlands earn 6 reputation stars for each complete row or complete column of filled spaces. So you have to fill in an entire row and an entire column. Okay. And then Wild Holds earn 8 reputation stars for each cluster of 6 or more village spaces. Okay, so 6 or more village spaces would be this one. So I'll do that. So even though this is not going to score immediately, it is going to help me like get my monster squares covered and hopefully maybe work on that coin there. Okay, so this is the last thing of the season. So I probably want to get more of these trees on the borderlands. I can put this out somewhere. Maybe here. Here. Like that. End of the season. Okay. So I get 2 coins, or I get 2 victory points for my 2 coins. I get -4 for the horizontal and vertical spots open next to the monsters. I get 7 victory points for having 7 trees on the edges, and 3 for the shoreline expanse of not having any farms next to it. It is now summertime. So summertime, we're going to score shoreside expanse and borderlands. So I probably want to get some clusters of farms out there, clusters of water out there. And maybe see if I can fill in a row or column. Might be a little tough. I don't know. Okay, so what is the current card? Just 1? Really? Interesting. So I guess I can put out a farmland. Start going for that. Yeah. Farmland again. All right. Let's cover up the mountain there. That'll give us 2 coins. We're up to 4 coins, so we'll be getting 4 victory points a turn. Bugbear Assault. I'm placing this on my opponent's map, I guess. Maybe mess them up one way or another. Let's see. That maybe. Alright. Orchard, I can place more farmlands, or I can place trees. So if I place trees, that'll score again in the winter time when A scores again. But this is going to score this turn with the shoreside expanse. So for each cluster of farms not adjacent to a water. I get 3. Oh, and it can't be next to the edge of the map either. So, I could do this, maybe. And that'll block off that negative point there. And the coin, I don't know if it matters to block the ruins. The fishing village, either houses or waters. So the waters will give me 3 victory points. The houses I could work on for another 8. It's not terrible, actually. I'll go for this one for now, I guess. Let's see. So this one can't be adjacent to the edge of the map either. But now it's going to be touching farmland. Maybe. Put it there. Okay, either farms or houses or farms again. Outpost ruins, okay. Trees or water. Okay. So no matter where I place it, I think it's gonna touch the edge no matter where I put this thing down. Oh wait, maybe here. Yeah, but now it's touching the farmland. Not good, not good, not good. If I do that, it's touching the edge of the map now. So I'll just put it here, I guess. Okay, end of the season. So 4 victory points for the cards, for the coins. -8 for not filling all these spots next to the monsters. 18 for all my shoreline expanses. That paid off in spades. Nothing on the borderlands. Okay. Now for the next season, I have to do borderlands and wild holds. So I need to work on getting clusters of 6 or more village spaces. And this isn't going to matter anymore. So we've got shore side expanse doesn't matter anymore. It's not going to come up again. But Cinnamon will. So I need to worry about C, D, and A. So filling in a row, filling in 8 or more, 6 or more village spaces, or forests, which aren't coming up. So let's see. I should also probably fill in some of these spots next to monsters. Or I can maybe try and fill in that mountain. That we can go for a whole row filled in. Okay, so that's just okay. Get a single tile. Give us a couple coins, a couple victory points for that. Forests again. All right. That'll cover a couple of those open spots there. Post ruins and farmland again. Go for those coins. Oh, it has to be on a ruin. Okay. And there. Trees or water. All right. Let's get those trees on the border, I guess. All right, got 8 points for coins. Doing a little better on the monster front. Not great there. -5. Didn't fill in any rows or borders. We got 1 cluster of houses. Didn't do great on that. And then final season for winter. I'm going for sandalwood, more trees on the edges, and more of these clusters of houses. Okay. Well, I'll just pick up the free coins, I guess. Borderlands is still up too. Let's try filling in one of these rows, maybe. Homestead. Okay. Yeah, at least we'll get the coin that way. Kobold Onslaught. All right. Did we skip the monsters last turn? Maybe. All right. Well, these guys will come in here. So. Trees. More trees, more trees, more trees. I like this one. That's going to cover 2 of the spots of the monsters and give me a victory point. And that's the end of it. All right, so 12 coins. Feel like I did all right on that one. That's 12 victory points for that. 5. Those guys. 8 for my house city. And 15 for my trees on the edges. All right. So I came in first place, second place, first place. I have defeated the AI. Okay, so that's the game. You can see it doesn't take really that long. Since the beginning of this recording, we're only 17 minutes in. And that's the entire tutorial and a game of it. So let's analyze this game in terms of the components of game design, right? So first of all, what are your initial impressions of this game? What do you think of this game? Very little downtime. Yeah, I mean, you're basically, let's come down here. How many players? 1 to 100, actually. So Cartographers actually supports as many people as you want to play as you want. Genre would be roll and write. How many minutes? 15. Cartographers. How fun was it? What do you guys think? You're a fan of these types of games? You're a fan of roll and writes? They're different from like a lot of board games because there's not like a shared board like a lot of board games, like when you play Risk or Axis and Allies, like there's a shared board that everyone's playing on. With a roll and write, everyone's got their own copy of like quote unquote the board that you're writing on. So every person's kind of doing their own thing, right? So how fun was it? What do you guys think? Score of 1 to 5. How much fun was it to cartographerize the wild lands of the kingdom? 4 from Rodell and Connor. All right. 4.1. No, that's not on here, but yeah, it seems about right to me. Is it cooperative or competitive? What do you think? You guys work together with the other players? Nope, it is competitive. Okay. This is a fully competitive game. There's no teamwork at all. I guess when somebody puts the monsters on you, like, I guess they could be nice to you, but yeah, it's a competitive game. Is it luck or strategy based? Ooh. How much luck is there in this game? How much randomness is there? There obviously is some randomness, right? Because you're getting cards that give you a shape and a color, to draw. But I feel like there's a good amount of strategy in it too. Like, I was in that game, I was trying to kind of like close off the mountains to get my coin. I was kind of trying to hem in the monsters to minimize my negative coins. And then I was also kind of like looking at my objectives here. I was like, all right, I have the opportunity to put a forest down on the edge and block off a couple monsters. Yeah, let's do that. Because at the end of the game, it's DNA. DNA. A is going to come up again, and I got like 18 victory points or something like that for that. Was it 12? 12 victory points? Yeah. So I got a lot of victory points for the trees, because I was kind of tossing them out on the edge whenever I got a chance. So you have some luck, you have some strategy. Somewhere in the middle there. I would accept a 2 or a 4 also. Definite luck, because you're getting just random cards and things like that. It's definitely going to be different every time you play it. Okay, so how much player interaction is there? How much do players interact with each other? Now, a lot of times in a roll and write, there's no interaction. In the game that I was showing you earlier, I'll give you guys this link here. Yeah, exactly. It is the interaction in Welcome to, for example, is minimal. Welcome to has almost no player interaction in it. So how does Welcome to work? Each person is given a copy of this map, and the game master, which can put this up like on a projector. Like, I've played this game with like 40 people at once. Like, it works just fine. They flip over 3 cards, and then you cross off the house corresponding to 3 or to 10 or to 5 on. Well, sorry, you write the number onto a house, and then basically the rule is, to the right you have to place bigger numbers, to the left you have to place smaller numbers, and so you have to kind of like, and you've got 3 different rows where you can do this. And so like this person's gonna have trouble here, because 1, 2, 3, 4, like they're gonna have to get a 2, a 3, and a 4 in order to fill in these houses here. They've probably hosed themselves a little bit on it. And each one of the cards also comes with something like a pool. So if you place the 3 on a pool spot, which this one doesn't have, but like, let's say you put on that one, then you get a mark off a pool, and the pools are worth increasing numbers of points the more pools you put down. And so there's like no player interaction, right? Each person is basically playing their own mini game, and so there's a shared kind of like, everybody, 2 people could actually make the exact same moves and have the exact same score at the end of the game, right? Because they just choose to put the same thing down on every spot. But like, the people don't interact with each other at all. There is one place in Welcome to where players actually become aware of each other's presence, and that is with these things here. These things are victory cards, or kind of like the achievements or something like that. And so if you make a 2 houses in a row, 2 houses in a row, 3 houses in a row, then if you're the first person, you announce, I have completed quest number 3, you get 11 points. Every other person who completes it after this turn will get 6 points. And so the only little itty bitty bit of player interaction in Welcome to is that you're kind of racing to get to these 3 victory conditions first. So very, very low player interaction. With this one, there's a little bit more. So yeah, I would say 2 is probably good. It's probably a good answer, because you're going to be looking at your opponent. You're going to be messing them up a little bit with the monsters and putting them in a place where it'll disadvantage them. You can see maybe, hey, these guys are trying to go for a strategy with a lot of trees on the edges, so I'm going to put monsters on the edges and screw that up, something like that. So there is a little bit more player interaction than in Welcome to. Okay, downtime. What do you guys think? It is a limited interaction. You can't invade your neighboring kingdoms. You can't really do anything with them. So downtime. We got a 1 from Rodell, McKinney, Davis. What do you think? Yeah, pretty much no downtime. I would imagine that if you had 100 players playing, then there would be some downtime because you have to wait for every person to like make a move. So like there's like that one person who's slow, and you're like, come on, just go. But at least the way that I played it right there against the AI, yeah, there's no downtime. Just cards are always coming up. Everybody's playing at the same time, which is a crucial thing in avoiding downtime. This is something that I think every game designer needs to take to heart. There should be something for players to do at every moment in a game, right? It's very boring to be dead in a game, right? If you've ever played Overwatch or Counter-Strike or something like this, when you're like dead, it's like kind of boring, right? Like you're just kind of like, go to sleep now. Yeah. That kind of thing. So this game, yeah, I'd say no downtime. Maybe at higher player counts, you might get some. How easy was it to learn? What do you guys think? McKinney, Chua, Davies. How hard was it to learn how to play this game? Do you think you could play the game? Five, easy to learn. Okay. You read the wrong way. 4 or 5. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, somewhere in there. I'd say any game that could teach you like the couple minutes of that tutorial is pretty easy to learn. Then again, I'm a kind of person who loves games that take 12 hours to play, so I'm not really the target audience of this game. How much information do you have about the game state? So, is there any hidden information in the game? Can your opponents do things that you don't see, that you don't know? I would almost say it's completely perfect information, right? Like you don't know what cards are going to be drawn, but you're aware of the complete state of every person's map at every time. In theory, at least, you could look over at them and see what they're doing. I don't know why that would matter. Like it doesn't unless you're placing monsters down. But yeah, you basically can see everything in the world. Yeah, so 4 or 5, sure. Depends if you're counting the deck as part of the game state, which I kind of don't. Is it abstract or simulationist? So on this one, I would say it's fairly abstract, not entirely, because it's got water and like things like don't put farms next to water and things like that. But at the same time, like these are just very abstract monsters, very abstract trees, things like that. So I would say it's pretty abstract. It's not really simulating a kingdom. You're not really, emulating the interpersonal rivalries between the different monster tribes and the farmers in the nearby fields. It's not the most abstract game. Like there are games that are more abstract than this, right? Because at least here you got mountains and water and stuff. You could have like tic tac toe, right? Which or pente or something like that. Which like what does that mean? Like that's not even anything, right? Pente, like what are we even playing here? It's just tile. It's just beads on a board. Like what is that? So I would say it's not that abstract. It's at least the monsters kind of mean something. And you have to kind of fill them in because the monsters are attacking or something. I might even go 3 on that, honestly. But it's not definitely not simulationist, but it does kind of simulate a little bit at least of the concept of okay, there's monsters, you need to hem them in or something like that. And the mountains are getting mined out or something like that by the monsters apparently. Okay. Does it have a low or high skill cap? Maybe a 2, maybe. Does it have a lower skill, high skill cap? Low? You think that you can cap out pretty easily? Like, if you're a good player, like a low skill cap means good players, like experienced players and new players are going to have pretty similar score results. A high skill cap means that somebody that's been playing for 10 years will beat somebody that's been playing for 5 years, right? Because you can keep learning and growing and things like that. There's a little skill you can gain, but not much, it seems. I have a suspicion that, if we play this a few more times, like a couple more strategies would kind of like start popping up and occurring to us, like where should you place monsters for maximum damage on your opponents, and like when should you mine out a mountain versus going for an objective, things like that. I think that probably a more experienced player is probably going to win most of the time. I'm going to go with at least a 3 on that, I would say. How well does it handle players of different skill levels? What do you think? So if you have a new player and an experienced player, is the new player going to have a bad time? That's one way you can think about it. Do you think that if you had a group of players with like 50 people, some of them are experienced cartographers players, some of them are brand new, do you think the new players are going to have a good time? That's kind of the best way of kind of evaluating different people of different skill levels in the same game, right? Because in Halo, you have a bad time. If you're bad and you're in a lobby, if you're in a game with experienced people, you have a bad time. Like, it is not enjoyable. Like, you're like, yay, I finally got the Warthog. You get sniped by a sniper rifle from two screens away, and you're like, oh my gosh, this game's so annoying. I feel like we need to see a few more games. I have a suspicion that this game would still be fun, right? Because like at the end of the day, like if there's 100 people, I'm not really expecting to win as a new player, but I can sit there and I can draw these maps and feel like I'm being smart and having strategies and things like that. At the end of the day, maybe I come in 47th place or something out of 100. Who cares, right? I had a good time. So I suspect that it's going to be fun for you, even if you're playing against new people, because of that low player interaction, right? Because the low player interaction games mean you're basically playing your own game, and if the game is fun, then you have fun, even if you don't win. In one of the Gears of War games, when you play online for the first time, you get a bunch of buffs so you don't feel like you suck. That's funny. That is hilarious. Or some games, they put you into a special newbie lobby, and so you only play against people that just bought the game for the first like 10 games, and then it dumps you out into the real world, so to speak. So it like kind of evaluates your skill, but basically it prevents you from being just absolutely raffle stomped when you start playing. Okay, is this game dexterity based or intelligence based? Do you have to have fast reflexes? Do you have to have hand-eye coordination? Do you have to have fingers that move at the speed of light to play this game, or is it just thinking? What do you think? It's just thinking. Yeah, it's an easy question. Okay, how balanced is it? Do you think the game is, reasonably balanced? What do you think? It's Dex is completely unimportant. This is not a speed game. There's no timer. There's like, just think about it. Like if you try different strategies, like I was trying to like kind of mine out those coins and get coins because the coins give you victory points 4 times if you get in the first season. I was trying to like fill in a row and a column and couldn't quite get that done. It seems pretty good. I mean, I'd have to play it some more. Also, obviously, this is the first time I ever played it. But it seems actually well balanced. Like I feel like if I had tried different approaches, I might not have gotten the same score, but I could have, tried different tactics, and they all seemed fairly on par with each other. So okay, and then finally, how replayable is it? How different is the game every time? So in this game, the objectives change every time. So instead of A, B, C, and D being the same, every time you play them, you draw random objectives. And so these goals that you have down here, these change. The map, I think, is the same, at least in the base game. There are expansions for our cartographers. So if we go over to here, I actually purchased this game. This is why I was interested in playing it. I've never played the game. I bought it just because it had very high reviews, and I do that occasionally. Which doesn't always pan out, trust me. It doesn't always pan out, but like the game's cheap. It's like $20, and like it had good reviews on BGG, and I've heard people talk good things about it. And I've been kind of playing a lot of roll and writes these days, where a roll and write again is each person gets their own thing and they kind of like write on it. So I was like, for for $20, like it's not like a huge investment of money either if I don't like it. This is another roll and write that I bought. This one is a lot more complicated. This is a game that takes probably an hour or two to explain. The good news is you explain the first board as you play the first board. Then you explain the second board as you play the second board. You explain the third board as you play the third board. You explain the fourth board as you play. So you're kind of like intermixing instruction and the actual gameplay as you go around. And then after that, you get like your alien card, and then the gameplay is for like another hour or two. This is a really good game. It's a lot more expensive than a lot of roll and writes, but it's really very good, and I would actually feel excited to play it again. Basically, every time it's your turn, you pick a board that you're going to activate, and so this board over here is like exploring different solar systems. This one is like mining out planets that you have, and so you have to explore planets kind of before you can get them. And then this one is like scrapping things. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be. You're like collecting like income that turns into victory points. And then over here is combat. And so with this one, you can see there's like 4 different rows for the combat screen there. Each one of those is a different conflict. And so there's like 4 eras, 4 epics. And basically you fight the person to your left and the person to your right. And so if you have more dots on the left half than your opponent to your left, you beat them. If you have more dots on the right half of that area there than the person to your right, you beat them, and you get the rewards. If you lose a victory point. And so there's different things you kind of focus on, and each of the aliens is different, like special abilities, and it always feels like there's just so many options of things to do that some people get what's called analysis paralysis. Like they just literally don't know what to do because there's just so many different things they can do on every turn. They just don't know what to do. I like games like that though. So yeah, Cartographers has different maps and things like that. Heroes. Let's see. So there's like different expansions and things like that for it. So coming back to this, our replayability. Let's not worry about those expansions like for now. Obviously there are expansions, but just based on this, how replayable do you think it would be? Like, if your friends played it last week and they came over and they're like, "Hey, I want to play Cartographers again," like, are you just like, I kind of feel like I know that game already, or would you be, would it be different? Like you'd have different strategies, different choices, things like that. What do you guys think? I'm just happy that at least a few tabletop games have made their way to be played online, like Dominion and Smash Up. There's actually a lot of online games, board games like Root, Terraforming Mars, Spirit Island, both on like the mobile space and in Steam. And then there's like, of course, Tabletop Simulator, where people build mods for it that can play pretty much any board game. There's BGG Arena. Like, there's a lot of websites that have it. Yeah. I would say I'm tempted to say this game is probably pretty exciting to replay. I suspect you're gonna like run out of different objectives after a while, and you're going to see the same cards over and over again. But yeah, overall, I think that at least for now, I'd say it's pretty exciting to replay. And then of course you can always go with the expansions and things like that. Okay, so that's basically our class for today. I'm going to stop the recording now. If you guys want to play a game of Cartographers, hop in. Now let's do it. Okay. But that's Ludology, the study of games. You play a game. This is the first time I've ever played it. I own it, apparently. I apparently own it. It's sitting on my kitchen counter right now. I've never played it. I've never read the rules. So this was my first time playing it too. And I feel like I have a good understanding, at least, of the basics of it, and good understanding of the different game mechanics. And I'm actually pleasantly surprised by it. I think it's a very solid game. And I want to play it a few more times and dig into it and see if it holds up. So, anyway, that's the end of the lecture today. So if you guys want to play, I will post the link and we can play a game together.